Well, I'm taking a little cruise out to my buddy's place to drop off some Christmas laser light things. He's got property, and we went up to a Halloween thing, one of the places I work in the mountains, and they had all these cool laser lights that were rotating and moving across the open areas and on surface of areas. So it's kind of like a Christmas light hack for your house. You just stick the thing in the front yard and puts a bunch of stars or lights, looks like, on your house. So of course I'm going to repurpose it for something else on the Mad Max car, but I bought him a set because I bought him one that had LED lights in it. It was just like, it was like a snow globe thing. So I'm going to trade that, actually use that on the Mad Max car too, because I'm just going to put all kinds of wacky crap on it. So anyways, I figured I'd do a little vlog. I don't do a whole lot of vlogs in Roxanne, which is the car I'm in now, is a 2015 Ford Police Interceptor sedan Taurus. Pardon my voice or my sniffling. I've had a cold or something for the past 3 or 4 days. I was starting to get it last week, and I thought it was gone, and then I was great for a couple days, and then it just came back with a vengeance. So just had some rain the past few days, so I haven't been able to work, thankfully, because I've been sick. I tried to work yesterday a bit, and I ended up just going home and locking myself in my room and staying out of the elements and the weather. And then went outside this morning to this car and had a flat tire on the rear. So found a big old hex screw had gotten into the tire sometime, I guess, when I was on my way home. So luckily I carry one of those Via Air, like an off-road air pump. So I was able to hook it up while I was warming up the car and pump up the tire pressure. I went to the tire shop, got it patched, checked on some prices on some new tires for this one. This car I don't have the Police Interceptor rims on it because I don't want this car to look like a police car at all. So I've changed the rims over to 2013 Ford Explorer, like Eddie Bauer edition rims. They're like a metallic silver finish that actually matches a lot of the interior on this car and some of the outside accents, but mostly everything on the outside of this car is just black, if not little strips of chrome. The grill is the honeycomb black police grill, which is what I want to end up swapping out and put like an SEL grill or maybe an SHO grill. The black grill looks cool, but and I'm kind of considering putting a push bar back on this car just because I like the protection on the front. So it's just kind of playing around with different. I think just a standard car, even with a push bar, looks kind of cool. And I'm going to try and order one. I'm ordering one in aluminum. They have them in steel, stainless steel, or aluminum. Well, this Centina push bar I have on the party car is painted black, which is like a powder coat, but it is an aluminum push bar. And I've considered a bunch of times blacking out. I've got a louvered hood off a K9 unit that would look cool. That's black. I was going to black out the front of the car to kind of look like an Audi, like A6, or some of the Mazdas out there. So, but I don't know. It just looks, that car looks good white, and if I have the whole front end blacked out to give it that kind of Euro sports car look, it's going to look better with a black push bar on it. But this car, since it's all black, and it does have mild chrome chrome that much, but I do like polished aluminum, or even brushed aluminum looks really cool. Kind of gives it that like stainless steel look, but I just don't know if I want to put a push bar on it. I'm torn between taking the light bar off because it has an LED light bar. The spotlight does come in handy, and since this car is all-wheel drive, I have off-roaded a little bit with it, which is funny because I've off-roaded with my cars almost as much as I've off-roaded with my Jeep. I wouldn't say the trails and stuff that I take the Jeep on that it's capable of going on, I've taken my cars on, but I've definitely taken fire roads, control roads, and played around, spin around the mud with my cars. And since this one's all-wheel drive, I can't wait till I can play in the snow with it. I've wanted to do donuts or power slides with this. I've done a couple power slides on the street, which is kind of scary because the IntelliTrack system or whatever the stability thing that they have on these cars compensates for the slide. So it's kind of cool because you throw the car into a turn way too fast and hot, and it straightens out for you. Now if you take the traction control off, the StabiliTrack still kind of kicks in, but if you floor it out of it, you actually can spin a couple of the tires, which is funny because this will spin the two inside tires on a left-hand turn. It will spin the inside left-hand tires. So it's kind of cool that you know, it's an all-wheel drive car, and you can actually take advantage of having the traction control off, and you can spin both tires on one side. So, but I've yet to do donuts in it. It doesn't have a handbrake, which I'd really like to convert over to handbrake, or even make a foot brake like they have on the stunt cars. Leave the conventional parking brake, because this one's the foot brake that you push to set and push again to release. So it would be cool to actually end up with the push brake on the floor that actually connects to two additional calipers. That you can get like a little motorcycle caliper. It's not actually a motorcycle caliper, well it might be, but it actually mounts on just behind, above or below your original brake caliper on the rear. The problem is I don't think they make an actual drift brake caliper for these cars, because it's not only an SHO, it's a big heavy 4,000-pound car. It's the Police Interceptor version, which I think has the same brakes as an SHO. I don't know if there's a big demand for a drift brake for an SHO or Police Interceptor that's new. I've heard of people and seen people putting them on the Crown Victorias, but that's a really common rear end in that car, and it's a straight axle, and the calipers aren't as big. And the rotors aren't almost like this. These cars, I have 20-inch rims on it, which is I was getting at. My ADD kicked in. I have 20-inch wheels on it from a Ford Explorer, and I'm running Ford Explorer heavy-duty tires, which are actually a lot taller than. Sorry, someone's riding my butt. I figured, well, it's not even possible for them to keep up with me, so all I got to do is floor it up to speed. And then if they decide to catch up to me from there, there's a passing lane here. Well, this guy's really trying hard to tailgate me. Now he's going to speed back up. So, anyway, so in trying to make this car not look like a police car, probably not going to do the push bar on this car. Probably going to get rid of the spotlight. It's probably going to go on the Mad Max car, because the Mad Max car is going to be, for all intents and purposes, a fully functional police car, as in the lighting department. the rest of the car, nobody's even gonna recognize it as the Taurus Police Interceptor, because that car is so wasted. Even when I walked into the shop, I'm having it worked on. I'm gonna have to change a upper rear control arm on it, because that's one of the things that actually got bent when the semi-tractor trailer landed on it. I didn't realize it actually bent a suspension part, and these have cast arms. They're steel, not aluminum, because the police cars, even you Crown Victoria fans out there, you know that the Police Interceptor Crown Victorias have steel upper and lower control arms, and the civilian models have like a cast aluminum or an alloy, which will actually break in an impact and try and absorb some of the force from a crash. Well, on a police car, there's going to be situations you get in where you'd rather have bent suspension than broke suspension if you needed to get in and out of a situation. A civilian car, 9 times out of 10, it gets in a wreck or crash, nobody's shooting at them. A police car, having a bent upper or lower control arm and being able to still drive in or out of a situation is going to be far favorable than having a broke part. So that's basically what we're looking at. Is this car here, gonna get a little bit smaller tire because I had to twist my please, really? So this guy in like a Toyota Tacoma is like trying to pass me, and now we're doing like 120. So anyways, he's got the other Mad Max car, which hopefully I'm going to be able to make a little video of today. It's been a while. It's the Crown Vixen. I got it right that time. I'm taking him a couple parts for his actual Mustang, because I got parts off of several Mustangs to put stuff onto the Mad Max car I'm building, which was Lola. Going to become the Knight Rider car, but I'm not going to have a place to put the gas cap on the back. This is made for the back of a newer Mustang that goes over the gas cap. Well, I thought it'd be cool if he could maybe graft it on. He's got a 65 Mustang, which he got the seats that I was thinking about putting into the Mad Max car, but I'm going to make that a street legal car. It's going to be a daily. I'm going to be driving it pretty much the same as I drive Roxanne. I figure 120 miles an hour down the highway while some idiot is trying to pass me. See, you listen. So it's just a matter of preference that I have the bigger wheels on this car, bigger tires, non-police looking wheels and tires, and I'm putting truck tires on it. They're actually the SUV heavy duty. They're ZR rated, so they're still rated for 149-ish miles an hour. This is a 150 mile an hour car, and the Mad Max car is also a 150 mile an hour car. Now, it's not a 150 mile an hour car to me, because the way I see it, and tell me if you agree with me, I don't care if you have a car that's capable of 1,000 miles an hour. If you're not ever going to drive it over 100, then that's a 100 mile an hour car. Now, I don't plan on doing 150 miles an hour. Granted, I would love to. I'd love to be able to go out to one of these airstrips that's been decommissioned or shut down, or someplace, I don't feel comfortable going out on like a salt flat or a dry lake bed. There's El Mirage that's close by. I wouldn't mind doing like 120 out there, but if something happens, like a tire blows out or some wind catches under the car and you start slipping sideways, I could just see dirt or salt grabbing the edge of a tire or the edge of a rim. I'd rather do it on asphalt, preferably concrete. There's a lot more forgiveness when you slide on concrete or asphalt, especially if it doesn't really have a high grip. So if you were to slide sideways, you would end up sliding instead of catching on the tires and flipping, 17 times doing 140, 150 miles an hour. I would love to go out and see what this car will actually do top speed. From what I've read and done research, these cars are the number one. Now it's weird, the fastest police cars in America. Now, when we're talking top speed, which isn't quickness, that's just a figure of over-the-road travel. The Chargers, the all-wheel drive, and I think just rear-wheel drive SRT Chargers actually do, I think, like 160, maybe 170. The Caprice Police patrol vehicle, which is basically the Australian Holden Commodore. Moreover, people like to call it the four-door GTO. I think that car does like 160 or so. These cars do 150 on the limiter, but they get there faster than the two other cars that are faster top speed. And I've stated before in comments and when I've looked up other people's channels that are talking about, oh, well, this car is the fastest police car in the world. This car is the fastest police car in the country. Well, this car I'm in is definitely not the fastest police car in the world, because you go to Dubai and they might not be using those police cars, but they are actually police cars that are dedicated to the police departments there, but they're for exhibition purposes only. It's for people just to see, because they got more money than they even know what to do. But if I remember correctly, the fastest police car ever in the U.S. that's not a current production model, but was the California Highway Patrol had some of the Camaros, which were a two-door rear-wheel drive V8. I think it was a 5.7 liter tune port injection motor, and I think, if I remember correctly, they did about 165. But those aren't around anymore. Those aren't even made anymore. That particular type of car. They still make Camaros, but I've yet to see one under the use and authority of the Highway Patrol or any other department. Maybe the CIA or the FBI or something. But yeah, so what I'm driving right now is actually, by all record, the fastest. And this is the twin turbo EcoBoost 3.5. It's got, in California, I guess, I don't even know if they sell these in California. They know they sell the SHO, but the SHO for civilian use only does like 112, 116 or something like that. Now that's on the ECU with now being remapped or tuned. But these cars with the twin turbos, 4,000-pound car with 388 horsepower, because this one's actually a Wyoming model, so it does not have California emissions. I've talked about that in my videos, how interesting it was to get this smog, and then how fun it was to get it smogged. which if you see any of my other videos about it, you're gonna flip when you find out what I had to do to get the smog, but how easy it was once I found out, and how cheap it was to smog this car. But yeah, I'm gonna have bigger tires, bigger, heavier duty tires, because the ground clearance on these cars isn't that great. I went from an 18-inch, basically like a 225 diameter tire, to a 20-inch. I think these are 245s. They're quite a bit taller, a little bit lower profile because of the larger rim. But like I'm on a dirt road right now that's got some big old ruts and washouts on it and mud, and I just don't want to drag the bottom of the car, because I like driving my cars kind of rough. I don't intentionally abuse them, but I use them, and so I'm gonna end up pulling up to my buddy's place here. But I was just filling in some time because I'm not working the past couple of days. I've been sick, and the weather hasn't been all that favorable. I love the rain, but even people that I want to go work for don't want me coming and working on their stuff in the rain with what I do. Sometimes they do when they're panicking, but for the most part, they just rather be inside and out of the weather. And with me being sick right now, I'm trying to do that too. But my next video hopefully will be a video of the Crown Vixen, my buddy's place, and you'll get to see one of the cars I started and didn't finish, but I'm actually really glad that I gave it to somebody who could finish it for this Wasteland Weekend that we're going to, because it really turned out bitchin'. And my new Wasteland Weekend car may or may not look as cool. I think it will. I think just the mechanical aspect of it is going to be crazy, because I'm going to have a twin turbo all-wheel drive police interceptor. That's a street legal Mad Max car that's capable of 150 miles an hour. I don't know how fast I'll be able to drive it. I'll probably never really go over 100 with it. But I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Thanks for watching.